Hello and welcome to another tutorial by Sue Vine at MissPinksCraftSpot. Today you're joining me as I make this dude card. I'm using the layered alphabet edgelets and the lined alphabet stamp set to make my dude image. And I'm just using lemon lime twist cardstock, black cardstock, and also one of the back images from Animal Expedition. Notice the round hole and the square bracket at the bottom of the frame, as well as these markers to line up on your cardstock. And when you grab one of your letters, you'll notice the top is always the round edge and the bottom is the square. And that way you always get your letters the right way up. You just pop them in the little gap. Now I'm off to cut. So I've cut my first image and it looks really good, so I'm really happy. And I'm going to line the next one up just next to the edge of the other letter. I like to use or not use cardstock where I don't need to. I don't like to waste cardstock, so I'm going to give this a try. Now when I lined up that image close to the other letter, what I found actually happened is that the frame left an imprint in the cardstock. And I'm not really happy with that because when I layer up the images, that's going to show. So I've gone ahead and just cut the other letters at each end of the cardstock. And then instead of lining it right up next to a letter, I've done it part way through, and that way I've got a nice smooth D for the front of my dude. Now I'm going to stamp and emboss the outline of the letters. Always use your embossing buddy when you're using Versamark and embossing. That way you don't get little Klingons from your powder. And being photopolymer, I'm just going to stamp onto this pad. So that's my first letter embossed. And I'm just going to repeat the process on all the letters and heat set the powder. And now that I've done that, I'm going to glue all the letters together. I like using the Tombow multi-purpose glue. It gives a little bit of wiggle room when you first apply your two surfaces together. And then that way you can just press the two layers between your fingers and line them up. I've trimmed my dude panel down to 4 inches, which is the same as my DSP. And now I'm just going to adhere all of that to my card front. And I'm using the same glue as I did to join the letters together. There's the dude finished. So now I'm going to take around the corner and I'm going to use the "It's Your Day" sentiment, but instead of stamping it around the corner, I'm going to stamp it straight. And to do that, I'm going to do some masking. And I just use normal sticky tape to do this. I take a good sized piece and I pop it over the piece of the sentiment that I want to mask. And I make sure there's a little bit hanging off. And the reason for that is when you ink it up, you get your ink where you want on the image, and you can just lift the edge and peel the tape off, and you're ready to stamp. Clean your stamp off and then reapply the tape over the other part of the sentiment, and just repeat the process, inking up the stamp, removing the tape, and being photopolymer, it's quite easy to line up the sentiment. But because I've just cleaned my stamp, it might still be a little bit damp, so I'm just going to grab a sticky note and pop over my card so that that part of the stamp won't leave any residual image. So all I get is the inked up image that I want. And there you have it. Dude, it's your day. I think that's a really cool masculine card. Masculine is something that I really do struggle with. Thanks for joining me today. I'd love if you'd subscribe to my channel and if you'd visit my blog for more inspiration. Bye!